You are told to eat more protein. It is on the front of your yogurt. It is stamped across your cereal box. It is in the name of the bar you keep in your bag for emergencies. But the real answer is far stranger. Your body does not simply welcome protein. Your body negotiates with it. Every gram you swallow arrives with a bill attached, and your cells have been quietly paying that bill for as long as you have been alive. Start with something obvious that almost nobody questions. Protein is not fuel. Not really. Fat is fuel. Carbohydrate is fuel. Protein is building material, and your body treats it the way a builder treats bricks. You do not burn bricks to stay warm. You use them, or you store them, or you throw them away. And here's the strange part. Your body cannot store protein. Fat has a warehouse. Your fat tissue will accept an almost unlimited delivery and simply expand to hold it. Carbohydrate has a small pantry. Your liver and muscles hold a modest supply of glycogen, enough for a day or so of hard living. Protein has nothing. There is no protein tank. There is no protein reserve waiting quietly under your skin. Every protein in your body is already doing a job. Your muscles are protein. Your enzymes are protein. The transport molecules ferrying oxygen through your blood are protein. The collagen holding your face together is protein. So what happens when you eat more than you need? You do not save it. You dismantle it. The amino acids you cannot use get stripped of their nitrogen. That nitrogen becomes ammonia, which is toxic. Your liver converts the ammonia into urea, and your kidneys flush the urea out in your urine. The carbon skeleton that remains gets burned for energy or turned into fat. Sit with that for a moment. You ate a protein shake. Your body took it apart, neutralized a poison, ran a chemical laundering operation through 2 organs, and then converted the leftovers into the very thing you were trying to avoid. That is the cost, and you have never felt it. Why would evolution build a system like this? Why would your ancestors leave you with a body that has no protein reserve at all? Because for most of human history, protein was never the problem. Your ancestors did not struggle to find protein. They struggled to find calories. A hunter-gatherer eating whole animals, insects, eggs, and marrow was swimming in protein by modern standards. What was scarce was energy. What was scarce was fat. There was no evolutionary pressure to build a protein warehouse because you would never need one. Protein arrived with the meal or it did not arrive at all, and your body simply used what it needed and disposed of the rest. But something else was happening in that disposal system. Something your ancestors never lived long enough to notice. Your cells have a sensor. It listens specifically for protein. Its name is mTOR. It stands for mechanistic target of rapamycin, which tells you almost nothing, so decode it plainly. mTOR is a switch inside nearly every cell in your body, and it has exactly 2 settings. Setting 1 is grow, build, divide, make more of everything, repair the damage, add muscle. Setting 2 is clean. When mTOR is quiet, your cells begin a process called autophagy, which literally means self-eating. Your cell goes through its own interior like a person cleaning out a cluttered attic. It finds broken proteins, damaged machinery, misfolded junk that has accumulated over years, and it breaks them down and recycles the parts. Autophagy is not optional maintenance. It is the reason your cells do not fill with garbage and stop working. And here is the switch. Amino acids activate mTOR. Protein activates mTOR. Specifically, one amino acid does most of the shouting, and it is called leucine, and it is abundant in exactly the foods you have been told to eat more of. When protein is present, mTOR wakes up and says build. When protein is absent, mTOR goes quiet and your cells say clean. You cannot do both at once. Do you see the trade now? Every meal is a vote. Every high-protein day is a day your cells spend building instead of cleaning. Every gram is a small instruction whispered to trillions of cells at once, and the instruction is always the same. Grow. Growth is wonderful when you are 22. Growth is a very different word when you are 70. This is where the research gets uncomfortable. In 2014, Valter Longo at the University of Southern California published a study following more than 6,000 adults over 18 years. He divided them by protein intake. He found that in people between 50 and 65, those eating a high-protein diet had a dramatically higher risk of dying from cancer over the follow-up period compared with those eating low protein. The number was not small. It was not a rounding error. But then Longo found something that broke the simple story. In people over 65, the effect reversed. Higher protein in the oldest group was associated with lower mortality, not higher. One nutrient. Opposite effects. The variable was not the protein. The variable was you. Because when you are old and frail, you are losing muscle faster than you can rebuild it. And the growth signal is exactly what you need. And when you are middle-aged and your cells have accumulated decades of damage, the growth signal is the last thing you need shouted at them every 4 hours. Protein does not have a dose. Protein has a context. Now go further back. Go to the animals. Cynthia Kenyon at UCSF spent years working with a nematode worm called C. elegans, a creature about 1 millimeter long that lives for roughly 3 weeks. She found that mutating a single gene in the insulin signaling pathway doubled the worm's lifespan. Not by 10%. Doubled. The worms did not become sickly or slow. They stayed young, and they stayed young for twice as long. The pathway she was disrupting is a cousin of the same nutrient-sensing machinery running inside you right now. Insulin and mTOR are both asking the same underlying question, and the question is this: is there food? Is there abundance? Is this a moment to grow or a moment to survive? Signal abundance, and the organism builds and ages. Signal scarcity, and the organism repairs and waits. This is not a mystical idea. It is a strategy written into life billions of years before anyone had a word for it. And you are signaling abundance every single day. Think about the last 24 hours. When was your body genuinely, chemically, without amino acids? Not hungry. Not fasting because you skipped lunch. Actually, without protein circulating in your blood, long enough for mTOR to go quiet and your cells to begin the cleanup? For most people, the honest answer is never. Your ancestors did not have that problem. Their protein came in violent bursts, followed by long, empty stretches. A successful hunt, then 2 days of roots and waiting. Feast, then fast. Build, then clean. The rhythm was involuntary. Now the rhythm is gone, and only the building remains. But there is another cost, and this one is not theoretical. This one is measurable, and it happens in an organ most people never think about until it fails: your kidneys. Remember the nitrogen. Every excess amino acid you eat has to be stripped and disposed of, and that disposal is filtration work. Your kidneys respond to a high protein load by increasing something called glomerular filtration rate, which is a technical way of saying they work harder. The filters open wider. The pressure inside them rises. This is called hyperfiltration. In a healthy young person, this is fine. Kidneys are robust. They can handle it for decades. In a person with even mild, undiagnosed kidney impairment, and there are millions of those people walking around with no symptoms at all, that same hyperfiltration is a slow grinding force applied to an organ that is already struggling. You will not feel it. Kidney damage is famously silent. You can lose most of your kidney function before you notice anything is wrong at all. Every bite of protein costs something. Sometimes the cost is trivial. Sometimes the cost is invisible for 30 years and then suddenly is not. So why does it taste so good? Why do you want it? Because your appetite is not counting calories. Your appetite is hunting for protein. Stephen Simpson and David Robbenheimer proposed something they called protein leverage. The idea is elegant and slightly terrifying. Your appetite has a protein target, and it will keep you eating until you hit that target, almost regardless of how many calories you consume along the way. Give a person food that is low in protein and high in everything else, and they will not eat less. They will eat more. They will keep eating, driven by a hunger they cannot name, until enough protein finally trickles in to switch the signal off. Your ancestors never had to worry about this. Their food was protein-dense by default. The target was hit early, and the eating stopped. Now your food has been engineered to be everything except protein. And your ancient protein sensor, still running faithfully in the background, still counting, tells you to keep eating. The hunger you feel at 11 at night is not weakness. It is a very old instruction, executing perfectly in a world it was never designed for. So where does that leave you? Not with a rule, not with a number on a package. It leaves you with a trade. Protein builds you, and building is not free. It is the thing that repairs your muscle, and it is the thing that silences your cellular cleanup. It is the thing your appetite is chasing, and the thing your kidneys are quietly filtering. It is the signal that says grow, and growth is exactly what you want at 25 and exactly what you should be careful about at 55. The question was never how much protein. The question was always, what are you asking your cells to do today, and how long do you want them to keep doing it? You are told to eat more protein. You are never told what it costs.